What's going on, everybody? John here with MachMotorsport, and today I've got a Del Sol packed with parts. I'm actually headed to my friend Ryan Beck's place. He runs a little shop called Feel Good AutoWorks. Look him up on Instagram. Basically, his attention to detail and his OCD is on a next level. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I love to do my own wrenching. However, recently I moved into a condo. I really don't have a garage other than my condo garage, so I can't really do the work myself. And truthfully, I'm getting really tired of rolling around on a concrete floor. So I've decided to not only enlist in his services, but to also put my baby in his hands, because if there's anyone that I can trust that is going to do the same level of work and level of OCD-ness that this crazy control freak Virgo has, Ryan is definitely the guy. So we've got tires in here, suspension in here, all sorts of goodies that I cannot wait to get put onto this vehicle. Right now, I'm in Waterdown. I'm headed over to Stage Four Motorsports. Shout out to Chris DeFreitas over at Stage 4. We are getting our fluids. He was also able to hook us up with last minute suspension, so I got the T and Flex coilovers. We are getting this vehicle ready to compete for the very first Ontario Time Attack event coming this Sunday, May 15th. I am excited. I am super stoked. I cannot wait to start wrenching on this and to start putting my own twist on this little car. Now, interesting little things that I've noticed since having, the vehicle is, first of all, it's crazy when you dial back a vehicle like 29 years. The technology, everything. I noticed driving it on the highway today, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have cruise control. That's right, back then cruise was a dealer installed option, not included, obviously, which I'm okay with. They already did the cruise delete for me as far as I'm concerned. And then on top of that, we've got no Bluetooth connectivity. We've got, no Apple CarPlay. So I'm literally headed to Chris's right now with my phone maybe on my lap with the Google Maps on the go, trying to make my way there. So I may or may not be driving illegally. Don't tell anybody. But where this car lacks in modern amenities, it makes up for smiles and just the way that it drives. It's so raw and so visceral. As a matter of fact, I can't believe how accurate the rack is. We really tout modern cars, for instance, like the 8.6, for having really responsive chassis and a really responsive steering rack. And then, of course, we've got a lot of modern vehicles that have absolutely no feel whatsoever. And this vehicle really does take you back to a time where you have nothing but feel. There's almost zero dead play in this rack. It's so responsive, it's so quick, and it gives you so much feedback on the road. It's actually such a rewarding feeling. Now, the car's factory suspension is obviously leaving a little to be desired. However, it's still compliant. It gives you enough roll that you're approaching the corner, but then through the corner, it kind of stiffens up. It's got a very progressive spring rate, and it stiffens up and lets you know that you're still on the road and everything is still good to go. So don't mind the rattling. I literally go from my Bronco that's a rattle beast into this thing, and this top's a rattle beast, so I'm kind of used to it. In any event, we're headed over to Chris's, and then from Chris's we're going to head down to Scotland, over to Ryan's, and we are going to get started on this car. You gotta, I gotta sync the audio somehow, right? So you gotta do the snap or the clap. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? We're here at Feel Good AutoWorks, and right behind me is the Del on the hoist, and we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Beck, who's hiding behind the car. Yeah. In any event, so here we are. We're gonna get started on the pile of parts that I've got over here. Let's go have a look and see what we're working with today. So, of course, we have got the RPF ones, classic wheel, wrapped with Advan A052, so this should be great for the track, actually. We are going to address the fluids naturally, as you should, so we're going to do a fresh oil change. We're going to dump all of the rad fluid and put in just a combination of distilled water and water wetter, and then, of course, the MTL from Redline, so the transmission is slickety slick. Then of course we're gonna go with the fucking good old tried and true T and Flex to get that hard park life, that stance life going on. And then of course you can't do these vehicles without at least touching a rear sway bar, and this car was never equipped with one. So we've got the OG Progress rear sway bar that's going to be going on in the vehicle. Aside from that, oh, and I almost forgot, stopping power, because, you know, all of its 2,350 pounds need to come to a stop. We're using a good, what I'd like to consider like a very economical solution with the Wilwood calipers, some blank OE rotors, and then of course we are going to swap out the lines for some braided stainless ones and then upgrade the fluid. So there's the man right there. So let's have a look underneath this vehicle, what we're working with. Remember, this is a 29-year-old Canadian car. So heading underneath, as you can see, I mean, we are working with a pretty clean, you know, template to work with here. I mean, the vehicle has been undercoated and rust-proofed right from the dealer. It was never winter-driven. So you can see here that a lot of this stuff, the floor is solid, the lines are solid. Ryan has already given this vehicle a once-over. Yeah, everything is looking pretty good. So we are going to get started. We are going to get plugging away here, and we'll follow up with the finished product. All right, quick update. So for the Wilwood kit, we needed to get the upgraded spindles. Apparently, the Canadian spec Del Sol SI comes with the smaller, almost like a CX or VX brake. Although it is a four-wheel disc car. However, it doesn't come with the larger DC style spindles. So big shout out to, what was the name of the shop in Cambridge?
Luke at KleanStreet.
Yeah, Luke at KleanStreet in Cambridge. He happened to have a set of spindles there, so we picked those up real quick. While I was doing that, Ryan was busy on the back end here. So quick look, we've got our braided stainless brake line installed. We've also got the TNs installed, and then of course the Progress rear bar and brace all done. So everything is looking pretty good here. And now we're moving on to the front. So we're basically pulling the old spindles and then we're going to replace them with some good used ones. And we should be able to do the front brake kit at that point. And yeah, it's coming along. All right, so we have made some serious progress on the car, and by we I mean Lee-Main, Ryan. So as you can see, we've got the coilovers installed, the brakes are put on, we've got the new knuckles done as well, braided lines, all good there. We're just draining some fluids right now so that we can get that going, and in the rear, of course, we've got everything put in there. We're just getting the power bleeder set up so that we can flush the system. And then outside of that, and fluids, and then suspension check, basically dialing in the height and everything, we should be set and ready to go.